It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Frank Caliendo, do you sing just as yourself?
I could.
Can you hold a tune?
I could do some. I'm not trained. If I trained it, I think I could be. No, what I'm saying is I could. In my act, I will break into like little bits of song. As soon as you add music, which is the thing I always saw with like American Idol, people could sing without the music. As soon as you threw the music in, you're like, wow, they can't stay with the
Right.
timing. They can't stay with the music. I wish I had worked on that a lot more. I'm trying to think. There's a couple things.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm asking. I have a buddy who is not. He's not at all up to. He's not a professional mimic at any. He doesn't do impressions, but the ones he does, he can sing like he sounds like singers. He can't carry a tune in his own voice to save his life, but if he does a singer, he can actually hit the notes.
What? Yeah.
It's just a weird. I mean, I just think about how brains work. How you have such a gift. I mean, It's clearly.
I think
it
would make it much easier. I could do it in a voice easier, especially if it's the voice of the actual person, because then you're just parroting, right? You're not creating as much as parroting. And not parodying, but parroting.
Aping,
to aping. To do something like that. Mimicry does change that because you have not just the map, you have the full GPS and it's guiding you through. So I can sing a little bit, but if I'd have worked on it, and I wish I had, I would have a lot more. But I always thought I was just trying to be a straight comedian first. I thought, well, when you're singing, you're really just rhyming stuff. It's funny rhyming, but that never appealed to me that much. It was more about getting the facial expressions, getting the physicality of the person, and there is some of that in music. But musicians, especially singers, they completely change between speaking voice to you can lose a British accent out of nowhere.
Yeah, right.
And with your singing voice, so it's very different. I thought of them almost as characters. So, but I think I also thought about it completely wrong at the time. I wish I would have done more of that because you get a different audience with singing impressions.
Frank Caliendo's in studio on Gorman in the morning tonight. Last night, you were at Acme. You're there again tonight, or is it tonight and tomorrow? I'm sorry.
No, last night and tonight.
I was going to say, 2 nights. Tickets are not there, but you'll be back at some point. Lasting Impressions mini tour that never actually stops.
Yeah, I just gave that to the tour. I gave that to the social media people as a joke, and they put it on there on my website. And I was like, let's leave it. Let's see what happens.
You're a busy man.
That's perfect.
How many gigs a year do you even know? Like, what's the average?
I wasn't doing a lot, but now I'm doing a ton because I'm working on all sorts of new stuff.
Nice.
That's the key. That's what makes it a lot of fun for me is different bits and expanding older bits into longer chunks. So it's trying to find a way to get to a new special. And what I had was lots of quick hits and get in and get out. And now I'm trying to expand each of those things, whether it's in the voice or talking around the character.
Sure.
To make it more in-depth is really what it is.
The singing thing, another part of that, a lot of musicians and a lot of comedians, I always find there's a real crossover. I know a lot of people that do both who thought about doing the other at some point when they were younger. I think there's a real parts of the brain that fired up that you have some skills in. There's kind of some similarities there, which is what made me think of that earlier. But unlike a songwriter, if you write a song, you go play that song, you can't keep going back to it and expanding it. You can, you can, but the audience after a while is going to go, enough jamming. I'll get to the chorus.
Right.
But with a bit, you can always, it seems like you can open that door. The audience may have, they think they know where you're going, but you can just always add on.
And then with the way I do stuff, I can put it earlier in the act or move it around in the act, and then that will change the tags and where it comes, what comes after it.
Yeah.
So it'll build and change the synapses. It'll change the routing of the river, so to speak.
Sure.
It'll start going in all different directions, and like, oh, now I have something completely new. When you're regimented, you're only doing the same thing, and then your brain keeps in that repetitive nature. As soon as you start opening it up, there's a much more chance of creating during that process. So that's what makes it fun. Doing the same thing over and over. Being in a band, bands get tired of their stuff. You play it over and over, but that's what the audience loves. So it's there. How do you find something new? It's a mix. That's always what the art is for the people in the band. A manager would have you play the same song 4 times in a night if they could.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
100%.
The first time U2 toured in America, they opened and closed with "I Will Follow," their first single.
Did they
True
really?
story, yeah.
Wow.
They would play, and then if the audience was demanding yet another encore, they were like, "We don't have any other songs, so we'll play this one again."
What?
And at the time, it was kind of like those guys are going places.
That's genius.
They're
That's
not
smart.
too cool to play it twice.
Yeah.
See, it's funny that so my daughter is into U2 fairly decently, and the reason because Bono's son has a band called Inhaler.
Oh, right, yeah.
And she is a massive Inhaler fan.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's an asthmatic, but she, which in our family she might be, but she loves this, and she didn't even know it was Bono's son. And she's made my wife take her to Nashville to go see him play in some little, they've gotten bigger because they've opened up for Harry Styles, I think, in Scotland or something.
Yeah, for sure.
So is Inhaler mainstream now? Fairly mainstream?
they're getting radio play.
Yeah,
because
they're pretty big.
Does your daughter like the show Bad Sisters on Apple TV by chance? Because that kid's sister, Bono's daughter, is on that show.
Oh, I don't know
How about that? How
yeah,
about that family all making waves
They're
on
doing
their
okay.
own?
Doing okay.
I didn't even know that, but is that fairly new?
It's a couple seasons.
Okay.
How old is your daughter?
Well, she's about to be 19, so
Okay.
she's a freshman in college.
Yeah.
So she's kind of doing her own thing, but
She can't be bothered by you.
Well, no, she's great, and I also have the ability to get tickets all at with the agency.
Right,
My agency
keeps
has
you relevant,
tons of
right?
people. We've gotten, unbelievable Harry Styles tickets and stuff like that where she's sitting next to friends of his and types of things. And,
Sure.
So I will keep abusing that as long as I can just to keep my daughter close to me. My son, it's more sporting events, but a couple of music things. But my daughter, she's really into music. It's
good.
That's
great.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's great. You, as a high school kid in the early 90s, we were talking before we turned on the microphones, you were staying very fresh. You were always listening to the newest things like, say, Dr. Hook.
Yeah, right.
Steve Miller Band. You said, I was really into Dr. Hook.
People would laugh at me for being like a jukebox listener at the time. It was like everyone was listening to grunge and stuff like that, and I was getting into classic rock types of things from Steve Miller, like you said. Dr. Hook was. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff. Bad Company. Those were a lot of the things I was listening to. But it did transition. I had friends that were always listening to the new kinds of things, the independent type of artists that what became the CD store at the time in Waukesha, Wisconsin, off of Blue Mound Road.
Nice.
We'd go there and just look at CDs and get the newest stuff. But I don't know. I was always behind in music, so
But everybody needs that cool friend that keeps you tuned in.
Yeah. A friend with more money than you that could afford all the CDs, that kind of thing,
yeah,
too.
Sure.
Like,
then you can just burn them.
Yeah,
for sure.
As the youngest,
I don't think we could even burn them at that. It was early on in the CD world.
That's true.
We couldn't even do that.
I was a music fanatic. I was the youngest of 8, so all my friends had more money. I had a lot of friends who were only children, and I learned early on they'll have all the records. Their parents just give them $10 like it's nothing, and I was like, all right, you got everything I need to hear right here in the house. It's good stuff. Frank Caliendo, you are at Acme tonight. I'm sure you'll be back soon enough. Minneapolis, of course, known for 2 things. It's got a great music scene here forever, but also a great comedy town. I know you always appreciate
Louis
coming
Lee,
back.
who's at Acme and has been there forever.
Legend.
It's an amazing thing. A lot of clubs book acts based on who can sell the most tickets all the time. He's very eclectic with who he brings in across the board, new people, older people. It's not always the same. A lot of clubs are like cookie cutter types of things, but Lewis has always brought in different types of acts and tried to get people before anybody knows about them, and that's not really the case with 99, probably 90% of the comedy clubs out there. It's like, well, this sells, so we're just getting these people through. He's like, no, I'm going to book.
To your point, I saw Pete Lee at Acme as a feature.
I think he emceed for me back in the day.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Pete Lee opening for Nick Swartzen at Acme back in the 90s.
And Nick and I started out together, basically. He was in Minneapolis. I was in Milwaukee, but he was doing it for I don't remember who was doing it a little bit longer. I might have been doing it for 2 months longer than him, and we did a comedy competition at Acme to go to Aspen. He actually won it and went to Aspen. And I remember him getting the Barks root beer commercial. He used to stay at my house, I didn't have a house. He used to stay at my apartment in Milwaukee on the way through. And so you make these friendships too. And Lewis was a big part of that.
That's cool.
Frank Caliendo, it is always a pleasure, brother. You know you are welcome here anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
92 KQRS.
Good old-fashioned argument.
Right.
The kind of argument you can make after you've had 3 pops.
Yes.
And you can stick to it. How about this one? What's the creepiest pet somebody can own?
Oh man.
And this can be personal experience or just, it doesn't have to be, but like when you think about creepy pets, what sends that shiver up your spine? Ryder, as a woman with reptiles in her home, I'm going to come to you first with this one.
It's not the reptiles. I'm going to go with a mammal. So several years ago, I went to this huge festival in Chicago called Riot Fest. It's like a 3-day outdoor thing. And I saw somebody walking around, and I have no idea how they got this on the festival grounds, with a full-size hog.
Hog?
Like a hog. A giant pig. And
really?
It was just it was just sniffing around. They had it on a harness. It was just walking around right next to the person who was enjoying a really, really loud rock and roll. And the reason that is the creepiest pet is because hogs are the most efficient way to get rid of a dead body.
Well, there is a lot to be said for that.
Mic drop there.
They are also very intelligent. Hogs they say they're smarter than dogs.
Too smart, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So there you go. That's the answer. I'm not accepting any other submission.
They're so smart. They were the first animals to come to humans and say, no, really, I can get rid of those fingerprints. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. 651-989-ROCK if you want to weigh in. The creepiest pet somebody can own. What do you got, Fletcher?
I'll tell you what. If she would have just said hog, I'd have went, you're crazy. But with the backstory,
yeah,
totally. So I got the basic stuff. I mean, tarantulas just weird me out, gross me out. Like as a pet, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Snakes, I think you and I are on the same page there. But
not a fan of snakes, but you can always step on a spider.
What kind of snakes?
Any.
Like there's lots
snake.
of...
A snake, that kind.
Okay.
By the way, my greatest fear in life is that as I'm being squeezed to death by a constrictor, a cobra will bite me.
Yeah.
It's both. That's how I'm going to go.
But a buddy of mine, Jamie, just out of high school, lived on his own down in the Uptown area. He had a hairless cat, and those things freak me out, man. It's just it's just not natural. Good. It's just they're creepy. Like you see the wrinkles in their skin, and they look at you.
Good.
They makes the screen call.
Yeah, good one. I'm not a fan of hairless cats myself.
You're getting seconded on the text line. Somebody already sent in hairless cat.
Yes. 651-989-ROCK. Let us know.
Steve, what do you have?
I also a personal, and I'm gonna have to call out one of my brothers on this one because my brother Dave showed up at our home once. Kids were little. He was passing through town. And he had one of his many pets with him. Now, granted, he's a middle school science teacher.
Okay.
His school picture every year is with his boa constrictor wrapped around his throat.
Okay.
Which is, it's like, how come you never visit Dave? One guess. He had a pet named Penobscot. Penobscot was an opossum.
No, really?
A pet possum.
The little hands and the creepy eyes.
The little hands and the creepy eyes, and it would just sit in his lap, and he would feed it little treats with all the. And I've never seen an opossum that wasn't going. And this guy was apparently really, really friendly, and it was just there. But he brought that. He tried to walk that into my home.
No.
And I was like, I have a dog in here. No, you don't bring a possum into my home when my dog is in the house. Are you crazy? So, yeah, Penobscot. Sorry about that, Penabi, but I couldn't deal with it.
You know what's funny is one of our high-ranking officials over on the business side, Jennifer, she just messaged me on the Facebook.
Yeah.
And she said that Hugo thinks that we're rude.
Wow.
She's got a hairless cat.
There it is.
She does.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, Jen, but I'm not backing down.
Creepiest pet you can own. The first text I saw that came in, just one word, ferret.
Yeah.
And it reminded me that my possum-owning brother also used to have ferrets.
Oh, my God.
Plural. When we were in the same university town, I went to his apartment one day, and he opened the door. He had just moved into this new place. And I said, oh, God, what's that smell?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, do you smell that? You smell that the ferrets? And I went, the ferrets? What are you talking about? He had 2 of them.
Stinky.
And that ferret musk is something pretty special, boy.
Yeah. Does he still have is the possum dead?
Possum's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been replaced with man, we lived together in an apartment once for like 3 months, and he brought home a squirrel. I was like, what are you doing? Daniel Boone, get out of my apartment. What is this?
He's an animal lover.
Man, he really is. He goes all in on that stuff.
We got another text. Don't have a name, but just sent an image, and it looks like it's an albino deer. Really, any albino animal kind of is creepy. Just because we're not used to it at all, you know?
I thought that was a goat.
Maybe it's a guy. I can't tell what it is.
The devil incarnate right there.
The devil incarnate. Chris from Bloomington texted, when we were kids, my brother had a praying mantis. He would feed it little pieces of raw hamburger. Wow.
Well,
what?
A praying mantis?
An insect was eating hamburger. Good to know.
Yeah.
Red meat's for everybody.
They're carnivorous.
We'll let Eddie have the last word on this one. Petting a hairless cat is like stroking a scrotum. Thanks for the text, Eddie.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Brad Pitt, an actor of some note, he's got a new movie out this weekend, F1. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, this is about cars racing on a track.
Yeah.
And there's great movies where you have car races. But nothing beats a car chase. Right. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
It's cut to the chase for a reason, because it's the best part.
Damn straight. And we mentioned right before the break, like right before we said, what are some of the great car chase scenes? And Fletcher, you said Bullet. That's always, I think that's the first one that got everybody's attention in the world. It's like everybody's number one pick, at least in terms of like the way you say great films. You always go, well, there's The Godfather, and in car chases, there's always Bullet.
Dad's favorite. He showed it to me a bunch of times. Kiddo, that Mustang just lost 6 hubcaps.
Yeah. Well, but other than the hubcaps, it's like you see Steve driving the car.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's actually being driven, like the chase is actually happening, and that's part of what makes it so great. Another one that popped into my mind is Nicolas Cage, Gone in 60 Seconds. I know there was one done a while back, but the more recent Gone in 60 Seconds, when he's driving Eleanor, whoever the stunt driver is, or Nicolas Cage, is driving the wheels off that car.
Well, have you seen the original Gone in 60 Seconds?
I haven't.
That's my all-time number one. The car chase is 40 minutes long.
It's a beast. Yeah, and Nick Cage, the first thing that jumped into my mind was him grabbing those Huggies in Raisin, Arizona. I know that's not a car chase scene, but that was some great driving.
It's a great. Well, he is being chased down the street by those stray dogs are after him. The guys in the car. The original Gone in 60 Seconds. The guy's name was H.B. Halicki. He produced it, he wrote it, he directed it, and he started it, and he did all the driving.
Wow.
He did everything.
That's a dream come true.
Oh, he's an insurance investigator, and he's got a side hustle where he just steals high-end cars. I mean, what a great. That's all you need to know. Mm-hmm. But there is a moment. I mean, in that movie, I gotta make sure I'm getting this right. I just looked it up. Yeah, it's 41 minutes long.
The car chase scene.
The car chase. Uh-huh. It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting it on the to-do list.
And you mentioned the Mini Cooper in Paris in the first Jason Bourne movie.
Yeah.
Is it the second or third one in Moscow where he's chasing the guy that went on?
Pretty sure it's Bourne Supremacy, whichever one that was.
I don't know which one's called what. I just know that the one in Moscow where the dude's in the Land Rover and he's in the cheap Russian like taxi, but it ends in that tunnel. That one through Moscow is every bit as great as the one in Paris, I do believe. And fun fact about the one in Moscow, the KGB hitman who he's chasing, that actor turned up in that show on Amazon, The Boys. He's
really?
Okay.
He's the guy, the main guy. What's his name? Bigger. What's his name? Butcher.
Oh, the Butcher, really?
Butcher is the Russian KGB assassin in the Bourne movies. Same actor.
Yeah, I don't remember his face from that. I certainly remember from The Boys, though.
No. If you go back and look, you're like, oh, I've seen that guy somewhere.
Wow.
You know what is on 651-989 Rock is the KQ talking text line. No shortage of Blues Brothers people texting in on that one.
Going through the mall, that was like my top one too. Yeah. How many Chicago PD cars got wrecked in that scene?
The first time I ever played Mario Kart with the kids on the Wii, and there's one of those tracks. It looks like you're going through a mall, and I was like, it's the Blues Brothers. And of course they were 4 and 6 and had no idea what the hell I was talking about. Gene Hackman, French Connection, pretty another great standard. There's so many. And it's just funny to think about. Like, there was a moment in time when films would be greenlit based on one thing. We're going to have a great car chase. Okay, how are you going to do it? Great, let's do this. Oh, wow. See, this is so, I love these texts coming in. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. Do you ever see that one? Back in the day, Peter Fonda.
I hear it's one of the greats, along with Vanishing Point, which I think I rented and never watched.
Yeah. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry it would come on like the Friday night movies when I was a kid, and it was one of those ones where that every time, and my older brothers would be like, "Oh, we're watching that one." My first movie experience as a kid going to see a movie that was full of great car scenes was Smokey and the Bandit. That I remember, like 6th grade or so. And in the theater, seeing that, like I'd seen Bullet, I'd seen French Connection on TV. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the first time I was watching like real fun, fast cars doing crazy stuff was Smokey and the Bandit. And on top of it, it's just hilariously funny. Yeah. To this day, for all the things that don't age well in movies, that one I'm still just laughing every time I see it.
In my mind, were there similar actors, or was there a tie between Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit? Because that's when I was really young.
Burt Reynolds?
Well, Burt Reynolds.
Was he in both of them? Is that what it was? That was okay, that's what I'm... that one, Cannonball Run's got some phenomenal stuff in it,
when the Italian guy gets in the car and he takes the rearview mirror and he just tears it off. He goes, "What is behind you does not matter. It's not important." Cannonball Run, my favorite. A few years ago, somebody asked George Clooney about, can you tell when a movie's going to be great? Because when you're shooting a film, there's so many millions of elements that lead to the final product, and the actors, of course, have no control over any of it. And he said, look, if enjoying the process related to the movie being good at the end, Cannonball Run would have won all the Oscars.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Let's talk conspiracy theories. Let's just dive right in. Because as a guy who normally likes to steer clear, I leave the tinfoil hats to the others. Some of these are right in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
If you've got a conspiracy theory that you want to share with us, please, by all means, 651-989-ROCK. Let us know what you think. But a few of these I'm running by for the first time. There's a great list of harmless conspiracy theories. This is my favorite one of all time.
Okay.
Here's a theory. That Bigfoot is actually blurry in real life. It's not your camera.
Yeah.
The big fella's just blurry. That's all there is to it. Man, I hope that's true.
That'd
I really
be great. Just like show yourself. Come on, man. We'll grill for him. I mean, we'll lay out the meats and the red carpet for Bigfoot. Just show yourself.
I will never for 1 minute in my life believe that Bigfoot is real. I don't think there's a Sasquatch or a Yeti or whatever you want to call him.
Agreed.
But I really wish there were. I would love it. How cool would it be? Can you imagine turning on the TV and every network on the world is like somewhere in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan going, we can't believe we're showing you this. And then you actually saw a Bigfoot like in a parking lot of a Cub.
Better yet, what if he was what if he was going down the highway in a white Bronco? That'd be even better. Hanging out, waving to people.
Totally into Bigfoot being real and especially being blurry. Now, granted,
do you think Bigfoot speaks?
Not in English.
Okay. Yes.
I'm fairly certain that that like I said, that's not true. I wish it were, but it's not.
Yeah.
This one, however, here's another one, and I'm going to come right out and say I absolutely believe this 100%. Trader Joe's makes their parking lot small on purpose so that they seem more popular than they really are. Now, I have been to Trader Joe's in 3 different states that I've lived in my life, and all I ever remember about them is I'm constantly bitching about the parking. There's never enough space, so I'm fully on board with that one.
And if it's the case, if that's true, it's really smart on their part. You know, it's just brilliant. It's like, marketing without doing marketing.
I would have never thought of that.
See, when's the last time you went somewhere and couldn't get a parking space and your immediate reaction was to say, screw it and leave? Now, after 20, 30 minutes, you might, but it's counterintuitive maybe, but when you can't find parking, you just ramp up the desire to find parking. It's like, by God, I'm going to get lucky this time.
I'll tell you what, side note, Costco on a Saturday morning, they could have the biggest parking lot in the world and then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, no, there's no getting around that. And by the way, they took a tip from Trader Joe's because, boy, that one in St. Louis Park. Every time I get out of there without running over a pedestrian, I feel like I won.
Such a disaster.
Ooh, man. Okay, so now we're 1 for 2. I don't think Bigfoot's blurry. I do think Trader Joe's is brilliant, and they do that stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
How about this one? How about the Waze GPS app, which I use? I like Waze, and I like it because you can flag cops, you can flag stuff in the road, you can flag all kinds of things. Cops go on Waze, and they flag random police sightings just to keep people slowing down throughout different parts of the highway. I can kind of believe that, but I wouldn't know in Minnesota because nobody up here is on Waze.
What? I get them on my Google Maps. They'll be like, hey, there's a speed alert ahead or something like that. If cops are not doing this, they should definitely start.
They absolutely should.
Yes.
Well, I'm telling you, if you
but cops maybe don't want to do that because they want to pull you over and get that money.
Well, if they're going to stay put, but if they got to go somewhere else, yeah, they'll put it. But, if I got to leave, I got to go somewhere else, let's slow it down, folks. I'm going to act like there's a cop still here. I think that's what that comes from.
Yeah. And for decades, this radio station has joked about, cops fundraising and stuff like that. I worked at a station in Fresno. The highway patrol came in and somebody asked him about, like, hey, do you get irritated when radio people mention speed traps and all that kind of stuff? And the officer said, I freaking love it because not only do people slow down at the spot that they're mentioning, but they slow down in the entire listening area. So if cops aren't doing this, I think they should start.
And here's the other thing. I think that each cop is different, right? There's some that just truly want to protect safety, period, the end. They just want us to slow down. They don't care about fundraising or not. You know what I mean? But there are some out there that absolutely want to fundraise. You know what I mean? So it's just, there's a little bit of everything.
Okay. They got quotas.
By your logic, then they should both be doing this because it works.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so okay, let's call it 2 for 3. Now, how about this one? I've never heard this one. Harmless conspiracy theory, but it's good. It's good stuff. Lotteries, Powerball, Mega Millions, etc., are actually traps for time travelers.
What?
Oh, come on. Yeah, well, if you go forward in time, you can Google the winning numbers, go back in time, buy the ticket. It's a trap for time travelers. That's the whole point of their existence. So I like that.
Does it put you on like a different timeline if you go back and then you win and then now you're getting into a loop?
Oh, yeah, you're offsetting the course of human history when you do that. So don't, listen, that $62 million after taxes might feel good at first, but you're changing human history. You just don't know in how many ways.
You're messing with the space-time continuum is what you're doing.
So then your future you never thinks of this idea to get the numbers, and now you're stuck.
Listen,
you just disappear into thin air.
It was established over 50 years ago that the space-time continuum is the sole proprietary possession of the great Leon Russell. Anybody else, just stay away from it. He's the master of space and time. Okay, so now we're 2 for 4. Okay. I can't go with that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a Christopher Nolan movie right there.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
How about this? Now, I love this. The big bread companies. Let's just call Wonder Bread and all the brands Big Bread.
Okay.
Not Big Oil. We all know what Big Oil is.
Yuck.
Big Bread back in the day paid toaster manufacturers to put in a setting that is too high, leading more people to burn their toast, leading more people to then have to purchase more bread. Yes.
I mean, yeah, that totally checks out,
That's America in one sentence right there.
So you're telling me if you burn your toast, you don't just suck it up and eat the burnt toast?
Yeah, absolutely.
You redo the toast?
No, I do.
Oh, no, I eat the toast.
Yeah.
I eat the burnt toast. But
take a knife and scrape off the black. Yeah, it is what it is. By the way, quick toast hack. If you like your toast crunchy like I do, put it on a super low setting. Go for until it pops up, then pop it back down. Do it again on that low setting. Then it doesn't come out burnt and it's nice and crispy.
What do you think? I have time for this?
It doesn't take that much longer than just having it on a higher setting.
Sounds like an afternoon, man.
Every extra 30 seconds I'm not sitting on the couch is 30 seconds wasted. No. I'd rather just burn it in 40 seconds and get on with it. All right, so where are we? I like that one. So we're 3 for 5 right now. What harmless conspiracy theories are you a fan of? What do you actually believe out there? Come on, Scully and Mulder. Give me your answer. 651-989-ROCK. Get in there. Kim is on the horn and would like to share one with us. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Steve.
What have you got for us?
So I don't know if it's harmless because it's negatively affected my life personally, but I believe that the Mandela effect is actually an epic troll perpetrated by young millennials and Gen Z to gaslight Gen X. And case in point is
So,
Publishers Clearing.
Kim, real quick, what is the Mandela effect for people who don't know?
So the Mandela effect is where a large group of people collectively, supposedly misremember things. I believe they correctly remember things, but things that many people remember it one way, and then it's supposedly a different way, like the spelling of the Bernstein Bears, or whether or not Mr. Monopoly is wearing a monocle.
Okay.
But
And what's yours?
Case in point here is Publishers Clearinghouse. Every Gen X and older millennial knows who the spokesperson for the Publishers Clearinghouse is, whose face was on the envelope, who was going to come and deliver the check to you.
It was Ed McMahon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will, to my bones. Steve, Fletcher, you guys got to back me up on this one. Ed McMahon, correct?
100%.
Yeah.
Okay,
with you.
It wasn't. If you look on the internet, if you go to Publishers Clearinghouse website even, everything on the internet says that Ed McMahon is not now, nor has he ever been affiliated with Publishers Clearinghouse. And I know that the boomers don't have the technical wherewithal to clean the internet like that, so it has to have been the younger millennials and Gen Z.
Wow.
Because
it's right.
the only explanation is someone has cleaned the internet, because it can't be that we're all remembering it wrong.
It's right there. I just did a quick Google search. Ed McMahon was not an employee or spokesperson for Publishers Clearinghouse, which is a load of crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
There must have been something went down where Publishers Clearinghouse had to distance themselves from Ed. Maybe he was just caught tomcatting too many times, and they had to run a clean organization. But this is news to me, and Kim, you've done my head in. Thank you very much for the call. We talked about movies people pretend to have seen. Another Mandela effect. You know, if the Casablanca, which me and Ryder are hip to, and Fletcher's yet to watch.
Hip to a movie in 1939.
No, post-war. Check this out. The actual line from the film, play it once, Sam, for old time's sake. He doesn't say play it again, Sam. One of the most quoted movie lines of all time is actually wrong. Okay, but here... Conspiracy theories that are harmless. There's two, and I like this one.
I'm curious if it's the same two I'm looking at.
Starbucks baristas are told to misspell customers' names so that people, when they get their Starbucks cup and their name is misspelled, they love to post that on social media. And it just provides free advertising for Starbucks. If you've ever seen that, it's like, who could misspell Steve? And but then all that people really get is, hey, Starbucks. But here's the number one. And by the way, I will go to the wall. I will die on this hill that your phone is constantly hot, listening for keywords to target advertising. I have never questioned this. And in fact, once a week at the very least, this happens to me. Rosemary and I, last week, were having a conversation, and I don't even remember what we were talking about because it happens so frequently. And the next time I looked at Instagram, there in the Reels, bang, was an ad for a product I had just discussed for the first time in my life.
I believe you. You said something about assless chaps yesterday. Now they're all over my phone. Ad after ad after ad.
Now they're all over your phone?
It's so this isn't your scrolling habits and your the algorithm getting you. It's listening to you all the time.
It was the phone being in the studio and Steve mentioning something about assless chaps, and now they're freaking everywhere.
Okay, well, first of all, the phone doesn't have headphones on, so it's impossible for the phone to have heard that.
I
call BS
Let's
on all of this.
Today.
Absolutely.
I call BS on both of you on all of it. I think it's algorithms.
No, it's not algorithms. I'm not searching for stuff that shows up in my feed. It shows up after I've spoken the words out loud. That is a fact. I will die on that hill. Make no mistake about it.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Twin Cities Civil War. One caller from the east side, one caller from the west side. Let's get to it. Contestant number one from the West Metro, Tom in St. Anthony. Good morning, Tom.
Happy Friday, back at you.
All right, brother. Are you ready to rock the little Twin Cities Civil War?
I'm drinking caffeine by the gallon, so I hope I'm ready.
Nice.
Attaboy.
Being a West Sider my whole life, I'm hitching my wagons to Tom. By the way, we are tied at 2-2, West versus East.
Yeah,
Very
and just
nice.
before everybody starts to blow up the text line, Tom and I discussed it. He lives west of 35W. There are parts of St. Anthony that are on the other side, so that's what we're going with.
All right. All right, Tom, Ryder's going to count us in. I'm going to start firing questions. You give us your answers, and I wish you the best of luck, sir. Fletcher?
Thank you very much.
Really quick, want to remind Tom, you can pass if you don't, because time is of the essence. And also, you can interrupt Steve if you know the answer. All right?
Yeah, shout it out when you know it. All right. We are going to start in 3, 2, 1.
Soul Asylum won their only Grammy Award in 1994 for Best Rock Song with what hit?
Runaway Train.
The largest single snowfall in Minnesota's history, 24 inches in 24 hours, began on which holiday in 1991?
Halloween.
Receiving his first music lessons at St. Mary's Church in Wilmar, Dave Brickler went on to become the lead vocalist for the band Survivor. Their biggest hit, Eye of the Tiger, is featured in which iconic sports film?
Rocky, whatever number.
And in July of 2017, a ban that had been in place since Minnesota became a state was lifted. And what type of store was finally allowed to serve customers on Sundays?
Liquor store.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show debuted in 1970, breaking ground as a show featuring a single female lead, Mary Richards, who moved to Minneapolis and worked in what type of setting?
Newsroom, whatever.
In 1994, Casey the Gorilla escaped his enclosure and walked around leaving footprints in fresh asphalt in what notable location?
2 seconds.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess Como.
Oh.
Wow. All right, so
after the wire, but good answer, but a little late.
So my job is to review and point out all of the wrong answers. And Tom, you had none, so I got nothing to do here. Although you hit Como Zoo after the buzzer, that was correct.
That was late. That was correct, but that was late, so we're giving you 5.
Yep.
All right.
That's
nice
a pretty good
job,
score,
Tom. Very nice. By the way,
Woo-hoo.
for the sticklers listening, it was Rocky 3. And we gave you credit for Rocky whichever number because we're feeling generous around here. All right, so let's sit tight, Tom. We got Patrick in Eagan on the line. Patrick, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You ready to rock a little Twin Cities Civil War?
Sure.
All right, Ryder's going to count us in. I'm going to start asking questions. Good luck, sir.
All right, Patrick, the number you need to hit is more than 5. And remember, you can pass or you can cut Steve off if you know the answer early. Gentlemen, we are going to go here in 3, 2, 1.
In 1984, Prince won 3 Grammys, including one for the soundtrack to what cult classic film?
Batman.
In 1981, a storm damaged the Sound of Music store in Roseville. The owner's tornado sale featured the lowest possible price on merchandise. It was so successful that it led to the creation of what electronics store? We'll move on. First-year manager Tom Kelly took a nearly last-place Twins team and catapulted them to the World Series championship in what year?
I'll say 91.
Heir to the Fingerhut catalog company fortune, Alan Fingerhut opened a nightclub in a former Greyhound bus depot in 1970. 9 years later, that club was renamed to, that's right. During the 1999 NFC Championship game, Gary Anderson missed a 38-yard field goal. The Vikings lost their chance to play in which iconic championship game?
The Super Bowl.
Formed in 1987 with Lori Barbero on drums. Oh, man.
All right, Patrick, unfortunately, Batman was a solid guess, actually, but Purple Rain was the answer we were looking for. The electronics store was Best Buy, and you know what? The Twins did win a title in 1991, but the answer we were looking for is 1987.
Tom Kelly's first year at the helm, 1987.
So that gives you 2 correct answers, and that makes Tom a winner.
Patrick, not all is lost. You got 80s cruise tickets. Congratulations. But Tomo, you will be seeing Paul McCartney at U.S. Bank Stadium October 17th. Well done, brother. Congratulations.
That's the most awesome news I heard all year. Thank you very much.
Caffeine paid off, man. Nice work.
And the West Side takes a lead, too, so all is right in the world.
That's right. Jack up on the caffeine for the Civil War, ladies and gentlemen. That's the key to success for sure.
It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
Would you look at your partner and say, don't come around here no more if I gave you $1 million? This is a question that was asked of many of our fellow countrymen.
Okay.
And many of them said, yeah, sure.
Really?
43% said, give me $1 million, I'm out.
I don't think you're allowed to say that even in an anonymous survey.
It's a weird one.
Wow.
Would you leave your partner for $1 million? Again, 43% said yes, they would.
You're just getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah, I think you are. Just by speaking it out into the universe,
honestly,
you're gonna, at the very least, there's a stub toe in your immediate future.
That's
Who moved that coffee table? It's going to be one of those.
Here I am sitting and thinking about it, though.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
there's a lot of factors.
Are you leaning one way or the other?
it's not. Hang on. Let me just say this.
Okay.
It's not. You can leave, get divorced for $1 million, but then reconnect later and just stay unmarried. But it's all okay because you're sharing the money. No,
it's never see them again.
This is. I mean, you might see them again. You're co-parenting and whatnot. But no, this is like the relationship's
real
over.
Ass divorce, not living with each other. Divorce.
Real ass divorce. RAD is what the legal term.
It's a sticky wicket is what it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, it kind of is because it's like talking about life-changing money. You think about your kids and what an impact it could have on them.
Okay.
What an impact it could have on both of our lives separately. Or do I get it all the money?
No, you're taking it. No, you're walking.
Can I give her a gift?
No. Here,
okay, that makes it tough.
But here's a question that prompts in me. Would you give that $1 million to your spouse for them to leave you? Like, is your freedom worth $1 million? That's the true misery scale. There's $1 million on the table. You take it. Just leave me alone. Boy, that'd be it. That's a statement right there.
Listen, here's my conundrum with this one.
Yeah.
My husband, Mr. Ryder, that dude loves me a whole lot. It is very cool. He also loves money. So, like, my catch-22 is if I said no to this, if I said no to $1 million for us to get divorced, he might not love me anymore.
Wow.
Like,
see, I could see,
he'd be like, what kind of woman did I marry?
Saturday nights around the Weber Grill, he's going hot dog, hamburger, hot dog, hamburger. The other 6 days, Ryder, cash, Ryder, cash. It's tough. He's got tough decisions to make. 41. By the way, 41% in this poll said they would give up sex entirely for the rest of their lives for $1 million cash.
How old am I?
These people are not having good sex.
Like if I'm like 80-ish, yes.
Okay, sure. There's some context there.
Yeah.
How about this one?
I might take that one.
15% of people said they would frame a friend for a crime they didn't commit for $1 million.
Which friend?
You have an odd definition of the word friend.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Depends on the acquaintance.
Facebook friend. Probably.
Well, sure. I'm not. Hey, check this out. I'm not saying I don't have any friends I would frame for $1 million.
Nice.
But there are people that think we're friends that I know would frame me for $1 million. I mean, like we have very different definitions of the word.
Okay.
Like, I'm a friend to people who aren't a friend back. I think we probably all have at least one person in our life where one day you realize, like, hey, wait a minute. I'm friends with a sociopath. I need to stop being nice to this person. I'm just going to slowly back out of the room and hope they don't notice.
Yeah.
Finally, 21% of people polled said they would not take $1 million if it meant they would pass on the $1 million if taking it meant they had to give up social media.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Something.
That's good God Almighty.
I'm going to say it right here, right now. For $1 million, I'll give you all of my social accounts.
Okay,
please.
Jesus Jones.
Yeah, just give it to me, please. Give me the $1 million, and I will get rid of all the socials.
Fair enough.
Easily.
All right. I'm glad to know we all know where we stand with this.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
There's a few things that are being discussed. The United Kingdom is lowering the voting age to 16 for the next national elections.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people in the U.S. who are saying it's time to do that here. The pro side is that voting is a habit, and it's a habit that you need to establish early on in life.
Yeah.
And if your 16-year-olds are taken to the polls and voting, it's something that can stick at an earlier age. If you're not keeping on top of people, and not getting them to the polls earlier, blah, blah, blah. It just leads to better habits in life. Like voting is something you do.
Makes sense.
And that makes perfect sense to me. And then, of course, the cons are like, well, 16-year-olds don't know anything about anything. And my reaction to that is, well, who does know anything about anything?
Yeah, they got a civics class, so I would put a 16-year-old against me. They're walking away with a right to vote that I might not get.
No question about it.
I was just going to say that. 16-years a lot of times are way more plugged in than some adults are, for sure.
They've just hopefully received, that civics instruction. They understand it. So I'm curious because a lot of people are saying that's way too young to vote. Those same people are suggesting we also need to raise the driving age. 16's too young to drive, so let's raise that. Let's get it up to 18. It's just interesting how these things, probably every generation looks at it differently. The older you get, the more you go into one corner with this. My kids are both excellent drivers, and I still thought they drove way too early.
Did they get their license right at 16?
Well, Connell did. Marley waited. But Connell did, and he understood the drill, which was if I don't think you're good, you're not driving. I mean, he didn't take that lesson with him to anything else in life, but for driving, he understood the priorities. But I just remember at some point in my 20s getting into a car with a friend's little brother and thinking, I'm about to die. And since then, all I've thought is 18, man. 18 years old for driving. This is crazy.
What? You gotta, once they start driving, though, like, you're done, right? Like, they can get themselves places. That was my dad's big deal. Is like, hey, if you're going to have a job, you're going to need to know how to drive because I ain't taking you to Target.
Well, I was really hesitant for Connell to drive, and then one of my brothers said, hey, dumbass, he can take the car, and then you get to stay home. And I was like, oh, that does make sense. But then again, I also, in my little fantasy world, we have like light rail that you can take everywhere and great public transportation. So why do, but that's not the case. And it does make sense.
I mean, I can see the argument for, maybe not as much with girls, but like I was a boy once and I know how we act and how we behave in a car with other boys, you know what I mean? At the same time, I was pretty...
Spoiler for girl dad here. The girls do all the same things.
All right.
Boys are
it's
not
probably
boys.
different
So
distractions,
shame on,
but distractions
equal
nonetheless.
opportunity.
Yeah. Distractions nonetheless. Fair enough.
It's the sex and the drugs and the rock and roll and the goofing around.
At the same time, like me and my friends, we weren't ever that careless. I mean, we were distracted for sure, but I see plenty of adults that are full-blown watching an episode on Netflix while driving, 70 down a freeway. So
hey, I told you to keep that under your hat. I've been driving since the 80s. I can handle 6 or 7 episodes of Real Housewives season 1 if need be, going up 35W. Listen,
I was talking about that other guy, not you.
But here's the ultimate one though. What about the drinking age? Is 21? Does that make sense as we all age and look back? I don't know too many people that wait until they're 21 to actually drink, but the legal drinking age. I mean, and there's plenty of societies where they'll say, hey, man, in France, kids have wine at 12. And that may very well be true. Yeah, but this is an entirely different society and the cultural norms. And, this is the country that invented teen movies with red Solo cups and trouble. Alcohol is for trouble. Alcohol is for bad teenagers. Alcohol is not a part of a family meal that takes 3 hours and you discuss things like, what did you like to do when you were a child, Uncle Ken? I mean, that's not the American family experience.
Right.
Unless you're in Wisconsin.
Well, there is
where
that.
You can take the kids to the bar.
Is that still a thing? What is that, Wisconsin?
Hit us up on the text line. But yeah, I believe if you're with your parents, there is no minimum drinking age.
Wait, what? Your kids can go to the bar and get a drink?
Yes.
No, not in the year 2025.
Exactly.
The year of our Lord, 2020. Okay, I need
2025.
some Wisconsin information.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, we definitely need somebody to hit up the talking text line 651-989-ROCK. Around the world, all the younger drinking, there's also restrictions on a lot of that, and so I think if we apply restrictions on drinking, at the same time I can see the argument for brain not fully developed, et cetera, don't need that.
Well, I'm a big believer in all that stuff that just came around in the last apparently few years where they're like, yeah, that brain is nowhere nearly as developed as they once thought it was.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're old enough to go to the if you can go to the Army,
yes,
But then again, here, okay, 2 things, and this is where I'm going to lose a lot of people. I think voting should be compulsory, like in Australia. You have to vote.
You have to vote.
And I know people say that's un-American. You have the right not to. That's true, but shut up. Everyone should vote. That's my thing on that.
I'm going to agree with you. You're not going to lose me on that.
And then the other one is, it was such an important thing, I've already forgotten it. But the other one is this: everyone should do 2 years in the Army or in the military, compulsory service. If everybody did, let me tell you something, man, we'd be a lot better off because what's that?
I'd like to add 2 years of customer service on top of that.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yes.
I went to college at 18 and just wasted 2 years of my life, which really, and I'm saying this as a guy that dropped out and bought a drum kit. I would have been way better served doing a 2-year stint in the military just to get my head together, to get some sort of discipline, to get a little focus. Countries where you have that compulsory service, maybe not military, but in some social service situation, nothing tells everybody better, hey, we're all in this. It's a team game. Everybody's got to serve. It's never going to happen, of course. Again, I'm talking about Gorman Island, the place that I'm going to, that I just live in my head.
Yeah, that's a cool place, though, I've heard.
651-989-ROCK, 651-989-ROCK. Let us know what you think of the ages here. And again, more importantly, let's have that Wisconsin, can you bring a kid into a bar information, if you don't mind.
Julie's got it. She's on the phone right now.
Oh, well then, my God. Julie, please enlighten us. Good morning, Julie.
She's an angel.
Good morning. I live in Prescott, and they tell me that if my kids are 14 and older, that they can drink.
Wow. 14 and older, they can drink. But as long as they're with you.
There, right?
With a parent.
With a parent.
Okay, Julie, let me ask you a question, Julie. We also got a text that said some of it is based on the discretion of the bar or the bar owner. Can you validate that?
No, I cannot validate that. I just know that when I go into the bar, they ask my kids if they want to drink as long as mom says it's okay. I've had people offer to buy my kids drink.
That's weird.
Julie, may I ask how old your kids are?
I can't hear you now.
How old are your kids, Julie?
You're going out on me.
Oh, no.
All right.
We lost Julie.
All right, Julie. Thanks for the call.
Wow.
All right, we appreciate that.
That feels like it feels like a foreign land to me. Like, that's crazy.
Well, it's not that far away. And
no, I know.
Serving people is always at the discretion of the bartender, regardless of your age.
That's a very good point right there. Man.
But I'm talking like legal. You know what I mean? Like if you're legally able to drink, that's crazy to me to think that some kid that's 12 or 14 or whatever could walk into a bar with mom and dad and have a Coors Light. That's crazy.
The first time I had a beer with my son, he was already a college student. I mean, like, I didn't even allow that crap in high school. It's like, I know they were drinking, and it was like, if, there was a few places, but I wouldn't drink. Like, he had a couple friends over once, and I said that was fine, but, like, I wasn't going to drink with them.
Yeah.
It's more like, no, I'm going to be the douchebag dad who's just watching you, and, I'd rather you do it here than somewhere else type of vibe.
Oh, that dad.
But we kept it very, like, no, we talked about it from a very early age, like, no, that's an adult thing. And I know all your friends in high school are going to go, let's do it. But your friends are stupid. There's not, my whole thing with my son especially was there's not a group of 4 high school boys in the world that aren't really, really dumb.
Yeah.
Just be the least dumb of your friends.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal. It's not to be smart. Be the least dumb. And, it's kind of worked out pretty well. 651-989-ROCK. Voting, drinking, serving, whatever. What are the age limits, and are they okay, and do they make sense? Yeah, we're getting a lot of information. Thank you from Wisconsin. Both what the law says and then, of course, just some actual experiences. Rochelle texted, grew up in northern Wisconsin, 70s and 80s. Yes, some of my first cocktails were with my parents. I cannot, for the life of me, begin to imagine drinking with my parents when I was a teenager.
Really? Did you drink with your parents ever?
Much later. Never with my dad. My mom occasionally, but she wasn't a big drink. My parents didn't drink very much at all. There was the occasional cream de menthe. My mom would have a little liqueur. Fun fact, we moved from Maryland to Kentucky when I was 10. 2 days before the move, my mom was 49 years old, 48 years old. And she went across the street to see some of her friends who were having a farewell Imelda night, and they drank this crazy drink called a margarita. Had salt on the rim and all this. And my mom woke up the next day and thought she had the flu because she'd never had a hangover. And she was pushing 50. Yeah, I was 10, so she was 47. Had no idea what that was. So that's the house I grew up in.
Yeah, well, the margarita will do it.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But that will explain why my dad was always in such a bad mood. Dude, have a scotch. You're Irish, for crying out loud. What's the matter with you? We're talking about drinking age, voting age, all kinds of things. Driving age. Are the numbers where they should be? A lot of text messages, especially from our friends to the east. What do we got, Paul?
Paige said, I'm from Minnesota. My grandparents are from Wisconsin, and I will say Wisconsinites do it weird. I was supposed to be a sober cab driver for my grandparents and their friends at 15. I had the bar buying me drinks.
So 15 years old, your job is designated driver for your grandparents and their friends, and yet the bar was still providing you with cocktails.
Listen, my best friend had a kid on St. Patty's Day. I am so excited for that little girl to turn 16. We are going to have a blast that day.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, and you know what? We'll always welcome random cheap shots at Iowa. Rick from Prior Lake said, why does the wind blow from the north? Because Iowa sucks.
Well, sure it does.
Thought we'd work that way.
We know that.
92 KQRS.
Summer is upon us. Summer road trips, a big part of any young family's summer plans. Usually you want to load those kids up in the car, hit the road, go someplace special.
Heck yeah.
A lot of parents talking about those very things. 3.5 to 4. Those are the toughest ages. The worst age for road trip kids, apparently.
Sure.
Old enough to, know that they're getting bored and that they haven't seen anything but that same cornfield for an hour, and not old enough to maybe read a book or get lost in something. And if you're a parent now and you are want to talk to me about how tough it is to get on the road with your kids, I would say, on behalf of my own parents, shut up.
Yeah.
Because my kids are in their 20s now, but we had it much easier than my parents had it with us. I can
100%.
tell you that.
Nowadays, if you really want to, you can throw an iPad in their hands.
Of course you can.
You know what I mean? You can probably even get Wi-Fi for crying out loud.
You can put any number of things in a kid's hand. My childhood road trips, it was all about books. A lot of books, man. Just doing some reading.
A lot of books, a lot of mixtapes.
I wish.
What about road trip? Y'all play road trip bingo? You get the actual bingo card that you take in the car, and when you see a cow or whatever, you get to cross off your bingo card?
Just punch buggy.
No, what's punch buggy?
It's where you see a beetle and then you hit whoever is closest to you.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to hit my brother on the road trips. There was a very distinct line driven through the middle of the seat in the back seat by my father.
Yeah, I could hit my cousins.
We had we did when our kids were younger, we would do the license plate game. You just try to get every state you can.
Yep, that was one.
And then and in fact, we always had this famous road trip. There was a little town in Alabama. It's called Jack, Alabama.
Okay.
It's doesn't even have like a stoplight. And on a way down to the beach on the Gulf Coast, we drove through Jack, Alabama. And there was a car in front of us, and he was like driving a little erratically as we were slowing down, had to, get off highway speeds. And he was kind of swerving a little bit, and then he put his right turn signal on, and there was no right turn coming. And then he put his left turn signal on, and we were all looking. And as we're and like Rosemary had said, like, what's this guy doing? And then the kids were like, what's happening here? So we're all paying attention to this crazy driver in front of us. And then he ends up pulling his car over on the side of the road. So he's clearly just something was going on. And as we slowly pulled around him, because I was worried he was going to like jump out in front of us again, he had an Alaska license plate. And you never see an Alaska license plate.
Gold.
And we were like, who cares if he's erratic? But it was like the high fives all over the car. Like, oh my God, Alaska. We never thought we'd find that one.
Amazing.
So to that one guy from Alaska in Jack, Alabama, man, always greatly appreciate that.
Did you guys have Willy Wooly? Or Wooly Willy, I'm sorry?
No.
The magnetic face where you could draw with like the magnetic.
Not a clue.
Okay. Mom was really good at giving us like activity books and crap like that. But we were a heavy diet of music and take a nap. Dad would be like, take a nap.
Well, we had music. We had the 8-track cassettes in the car.
Yeah.
And, you'd get a lot of mileage out of, just a few of those.
Yeah.
Just go through them. We did a 12-hour beach trip once with only 2 8-track tapes, Fly Like an Eagle and Abbey Road. That was it. And
12 hours?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
For us, it was Rumors and Endless Summer.
Okay.
Beach Boys, Endless Summer, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, over and over on the 6-hour drive to Roseau, Minnesota.
I'd need a lot of Valium to get through a Beach Boys road trip.
Come on!
So they say if a 7-hour road trip is about as much as you can do with young kids, you can expect 18 sibling fights, 18 in 7 hours, 14 mini tantrums, and at least 22 Are We There Yet? Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
That checks out. We drive a half hour and I get 3 of them, so that checks out.
Yeah.
How many mini tantrums do you get if you're touring with a band in that same amount of time?
As many as you can possibly fit in there.
Were they mini?
Just nonstop. It
Were they
never
mini
stops.
tantrums? That's the question.
On a good day, it would just be mini tantrums, and that's on a bus with a lot of leg room. Yeah, just a complete loony bin happening at all times. Enjoy those road trips. Give your kids headphones. Give them something to listen to. Tell them, you can check in every 60 minutes. You ask one question. I'm all. I hated it as a kid.
That.
But man, the Gorman family, we got road trips. We took them very seriously. My parents were like, it was military precision. We had to be on the road before the sun came up, or why even go?
Yeah,
that was it.
That
Absolutely
sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Very true. Biggest trouble I ever got in on a 5 a.m. pulling out. My dad, I'm in the back seat. He's like, all right, how about some of that coffee, son? So he has the thermos of coffee pre-made.
Of course.
And there was a thing of styrofoam cups. And he said, get me one of those plastic cups with coffee. And I didn't know styrofoam was plastic. A plastic cup to me was like a plastic cup.
Absolutely.
It wasn't styrofoam. And so I moved those styrofoam cups out of the way 6 times, digging through the cooler, digging through the bag with the snacks. And after about 5 minutes, he goes, where? And I said, Dad, there's no plastic cups. All they have is styrofoam. And he was like, that is plastic. And he was so mad. And I'm like, no one knows that.
No.
What are you holding me to these standards of knowing about the world of plastics for? What is this, The Graduate?
I was worried. I thought you were going to say you put the coffee in a plastic cup.
No. I would have if he hadn't corrected me. We were talking a lot about family road trips. I remember a lot of Blondie songs being in the car on the road trips back in the day.
Okay. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. By the time Call Me came out, they were already well established. But that first album, Heart of Glass, One Way or Another, Dreamin', all those, I can absolutely just road trip. You'd be, scouring up and down the dial waiting for a song you liked. Mm-hmm. And then you'd find one. It'd be like, Blondie'd be rocking. And you'd go about halfway through the song. And then it would start to get like, the old radio would start to fade out.
That was the worst
ever. Man. The ultimate long summer drive road trip, summer of 76, went down. I had a brother who lived on the beach in South Carolina. And it was a really long drive from where we lived. And the Paul McCartney song Silly Love Songs had just come out. And man, that damn thing was huge. And we probably heard it on every single station we picked up on the drive. And you'd hear a station, it would come in, and then it would crap out, and then you got to dial another one, another one, dial. And throughout that whole trip, that song was just relentlessly on. And as a Beatles fanatic, and I was also into Paul McCartney and Wings, I was like, by the time we got to the beach, I was like, I don't ever need to hear that song again.
You just mentioning that title has me thinking I don't ever need to hear that song again.
That's good stuff. 651-989-ROCK. Tracy texted, I used to drive 24 hours from McAllen, Texas to the Twin Cities every summer from the time my son was born until he was 17.
Good Lord.
One year he made me play the Wiggles from McAllen all the way until Iowa. I couldn't take it anymore. I told him that the CD broke and that Uncle Richard would fix it when we got to Minnesota. He never did the Are We There Yet? He would always say, what state are we in? On day 2. Day 1, it was all Texas.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I tell you what, from McAllen to Iowa, her Mother's Day gift since then have better been pretty damn good.
Well, the drive was to here. They just stopped in Iowa. But, man, McAllen all the way here.
But she's saying it was through Iowa. That's all I was saying. But the Mother's Day gifts for her better have been pretty damn good after all that.
651-989-ROCK. Let us know you combine it. The long road trips with the kids, and was there music to keep you satisfied? The Wiggles, there were some Wiggles in the Gorman car 20 years ago.
No, thank you.
Oh, I had fruit salad going all day long, man.
For me, it was
salad, yummy. Oh,
for me, it was Baby Shark. Baby Shark.
No. Happy not to know anything about that. Yeah, man. Cold spaghetti.
It rivals
cold spaghetti.
the Wiggles, man.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yeah. But at least the Wiggles were Australian and had those great accents. And then, like the Hooters, they were color coordinated.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.